In the arms of an angel, you belong, yeah, in the arms of an angel.
Beautiful harmony.
Yo, beautiful harmony.
I love it. That was well done.
Peep This W.O.M, or should I say Peep This Word of Mouth. We're talking about Blade, and we got some things to speak about.
Yo, I can't wait to get your new album, man.
Copyrights. I'm just trying to save us from the copyrights.
Good job on it. Good job.
So, guys,
Yes.
before we get into it, what's the rating of this movie?
I'll let you go
Out of
first.
10.
Out of 10. I would give it a solid 9. Ooh. I would say it didn't really hit perfection per se. I would say as far as like I would have liked at least one more extra fight scene between him and Frost. That would have I think that was well deserved. But they only had like really one fight scene other than he was holding a girl by abduction, you know. Yeah. But I would give it a solid 9. I think for its time, and I definitely want to delve more into it, it was way ahead of its time. When I rewatched it, I haven't seen this film in I think 15 plus years now. So it was really good to see with the new set of lenses. It was really good.
Mm-hmm. I give it an 8.6.
Okay.
Only reason is because usually when it's 9, I think things give it like a bit more of a stellar. Like it was great. There wasn't anything like super stuck out, but at the same time, I found nothing wrong with the movie. I have nothing to nitpick about. So it's 8.6. I would love to see the MCU just let this rock or just reintroduce this to the world today. What about you?
I say 8.7, 8.8. Off of the second watch. Initially, I'll probably give it a 9, 9.5. It was really good.
For your time when you were younger.
Action-packed, but for right now, I'm just like, for the time, 8.
It could rock right now in this generation.
It's still great. Still great. But we came a long way with CGI and certain things and clips, and so
1998 wasn't bad.
But might I say, the one scene I was very impressed with was that beginning scene when the lady was in the hospital and they had that altercation with the burnt vampire, and he like tossed her to the other building and then he jumped, and I was like, that scene was actually, I think it was very tasteful. I was like, yo, this holds up still very well to today. It doesn't look cheesy or anything. The special effects was pretty good.
Really good.
I'm gonna give one pushback.
Go ahead,
about the
give the
cheesiness,
pushback.
and then you let you go. I mean, we gonna act like we didn't just see this clip right here where he went. we really gonna act like we didn't see that.
Cool dude, though. Cool dude. I killed a couple. Bullseye.
I'm gonna let you have that.
But all right. So since he gave,
that's foreshadowing.
Since he gave a great favorite scene. What's one of your favorite scenes?
My favorite scene, bar none in the movie, is at the end in the final battle when he's saying some MFers just want to ice skate uphill. I thought that was one of the most hilarious things.
That was cold-blooded.
Some MFers just want to ice skate uphill. I was like, yo, give him an Oscar. Give me an Oscar. What about y'all?
He gave his.
I gave mine, but I would say that scene was pretty dope as far as like the action sequence. But I think that last scene with Frost too, that also was like a pivotal like nail.
When he was injecting him.
Man. The conglomerate thing that the hemoglobin woman made, so I was like, I like that a lot.
What about you?
I would say it's Blood Rave.
You like Blood Rave?
I really love it. And I love how they opened with it. They gave you first a little clip where his mom, just to show you that he's being born, and then went right to this. Basically, you saw it.
To your point, once again, if Blade was released today, if they had the Blood Rave scene, that would be all over social media. They'd be like, oh, me at the Blood Rave trying to, it'd be all over.
And it would be doing this justice. It's garnering a lot of attention. That's the most important thing.
So guys, let's just say we were at the club. Could you guys survive the Blood Raid, or would you guys become plasma?
I would say, to be honest, like, I mean, I'm trying to think as positive as best as possible and optimistic, but I'm a human being, and these are all vampires with super strength and carnivorous. I'll try my best. I'll be hopeful. I'll cross my fingers. I'll do a little, but you know, realistically speaking, if Blade isn't there, I'm plasma.
He doing the Maciah and the Blood Rave. What about you, bro? Are there other humans there?
Yes, just like the movie, there's other humans there.
Oh, then I'm getting now. Somebody getting sacrificed. Somebody getting.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Somebody getting
Same
sacrificed.
here.
Right?
Listen, I'm telling y'all right now, if we all go to the club, come join Peep This W.O.M. If there's a blood rave, just know I'm pushing you down. I'm pushing you down.
Somebody have to go.
And it ain't me.
It ain't me.
Listen, I pay too much in taxes.
Could we roll the second film real quick?
No copyright strikes for us. All right, so they went into the bank. This is the Dark Knight, of course. He's looking at him. He's like, yeah, we gonna get this money from the safe.
You know
All right,
the
so
rest. All right, so you know one of my questions coming.
Go ahead.
Which one is the greatest out of these two opening scenes, Blood Rave or the Dark Knight bank robbery? You have to pick one, no fence sitting.
The Dark Knight bank robbery.
Why?
And I'll say the reason why, because of the sheer intelligence of it. It was just beautifully handcrafted. Like, you think that you're gonna get this, and it just completely flips the whole script
Right.
on top of your head. Like, he treated it like a video game. Like, he literally was like, I'm gonna get all of these expendable people. They think we're all in on the cash joint, and one by one, once they do their objective, I'm gonna eliminate them,
Yeah.
or have
Somebody
them
else.
eliminate the other person. I think it was, and even the way it was shot too and everything. I think they used like special cameras for it. I think like, I don't know exactly what special cameras, but I thought it was great though, as far as like the planning that went into it. But Blood Rave, I think was awesome as far as action wise and just like shock factor.
I think I have to agree with him. It would be the bank heist, but I'm still gonna say, if Blade was released to this day,
Think about it. Just think about it.
if Blade was released to this nowadays, I think people would feel better about Blade and the Blood Rave because they've never seen something like that. Social media would make it go bigger, but cinematically, I give it to the bank heist. What about you?
I give it to Blood Rave. And for me, just to start off a movie with such action, like it was back-to-back killing, back-to-back murking. It was like,
And extremely
even
gory.
at the end when he was like, yo, take this one.
They were from
And
down
this
points.
one. And then he chopped his head off. Oh, man, that was one of the greatest scenes, I think, to open up a movie. Now, Bank Heist, that is fire. I'm not going to hold, because that, like you said, it was so strategic. Have other people murk each other until they reach to the end.
You know what? I'll give the reason that the Blood Rave doesn't get as much as I think that it was too early. If it had time to grow with EDM and if it had time to grow with more horror movies that we've seen and we can merge it with superhero films, I think the Blood Rave would have been done better in a later generation.
But this is a pioneer. You got to think.
Fair enough, fair enough,
Things
fair enough.
wasn't doing this. Like,
Oh, not dead,
there was
dead,
no other action or superhero movie that had a start like this. It's always you're building the character. No, this is the first time you see Blade and you see Blade murking. It's not like you're learning who Blade is and how. It's like,
Straight into it.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
But I would say definitely for sure why I would say that Blood Rave takes the edge. It's way ahead of its time.
Yeah,
I felt
it's a
like the whole
pioneer.
film was way ahead of its time. Even when I watched it now with current set of eyes, I was like, yo, they did a fantastic job. It's a solid film.
Yes, for real. All right, let's get into it a little bit.
Get into
more.
it.
So Blade, right? You see how cool this mother lover is, right?
He loves his
Shades.
mother, doesn't he?
He really does. Leather jacket, flat on, with the bulletproof vest on, right?
Yeah.
So if we were to take away the coat and the shades, who is Blade really?
He's still the same guy. Blade is who you see on camera. Don't come in here and talk about, oh, he's got mommy issues and he's hurt and No, he hates vampires. He's there to murk. He's there to get a job done, kick ass, take names, and that's it.
I think, well, it's kind of like how it's like a similar comparison to like Bruce Wayne and Batman. Like Bruce Wayne is his mask. Like Blade is who he is. That's who he is. He's driven by hatred. He's driven by animosity towards being changed into something, taken away from a family and home to be an orphan. So I think deep down inside he's really a hurt person. I'm not saying in a bad negative way,
yeah.
but he uses it as fuel for positive, and that's to murk vampires.
Hurt people.
Exactly.
He just hurts vampire people?
Yes.
Blade to me would have just been Shaft to vampires. That's all he is. Shaft, cool, still cool mother lover. You know, still a cool mother lover.
We can dig it.
Yep. You're damn right. All right, so do we call emotionally unavailable men mysterious to avoid calling them detached?
I don't think men necessarily do that.
That's true.
Because most men, maybe if you're dating a man, but like if I didn't know you, I would be like, oh man, Dajante's so mysterious. That would never cross my mind. I would think that I would call him detached. But at the same time, emotionally unavailable? I mean, I don't know how do you expect somebody that grew up on the streets until the age of 13 and then got raised to be a kung fu vampire fighting murderer to have emotional intelligence? I mean, I think he has to be emotionally detached to do his job.
That's
But-
true. I agree with you. I agree with you. No, you said everything right out of my mouth. You said it perfectly. I think honestly it just works in his best interest because that is what you need to use to survive and to thrive in that kind of environment. So he's like, I would like to think of Blade as a man of few words. I
And
just
that's
honestly
okay.
think he's a man of few, and there's nothing wrong. He gets his point across.
For real.
I mean, not everybody needs to be Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Hemsworth having an MCU dialogue back.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
fine to just straight shooter. We're gonna go kill vampires. You down? You down? Let's go.
I believe he was emotionally unavailable, and that's what labeled him the mysteriousness because of his upbringing. Sometimes when you go through a hard upbringing, you don't have the necessary emotional cues.
Agreed.
So he is to himself, this is all he knows now, this
Yeah.
is what I'm gonna do. And a lot of men sometimes when you see them, I'm not saying like you, I agree, we don't just say, oh, he's mysterious, but there's this thing when you see certain people walking in a room that you can't pinpoint with a smile, or maybe they have security. They're very serious, they're very stoic in a way.
I would argue
They
that
have a mysterious feel to them, even because you don't know not the fear of the unknown, but the unknown becomes intriguing. How about
I'd argue that he's not necessarily emotionally unavailable. I'd argue that he's emotionally stunted because of the world that
And his growth.
Exactly. It's like,
That's deep.
how do you expect somebody that fights let's just say that he's 29 here, that's been fighting for the last 16 years vampires and doing all these things. How do you expect them to have emotional connections? You get emotionally connected to somebody, that could be your ass, that could be their ass too.
Right, that's true.
So we kind of have to, it's the sacrifice for the job.
And then not only that, that's his niche. I mean, this guy doesn't go out to the club. He doesn't go out to, other than the Blood Rave to kill vampires.
Every now and then.
That's a
Every now
typical,
and then.
typical Friday evening for him. But he's not like out there socializing at happy hour and stuff like that. This lady was about, probably the only other human interaction he's had other than the old guy, Whistler.
Whistler.
Is it Whistler? Or
Whistler.
Whistler, yeah, other than Whistler. And Whistler is just like do this shit and I got this shit and this is our relationship type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
Father, son.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the last thing I'll say on
Yeah,
it
go
too.
ahead.
Is like, imagine Blade going on a date. Imagine Eric going on a date, and she says, "So what do you do for a living?" He's like, "I kill vampires." What are we doing here? Like,
I think you're crazy.
exactly. What? Okay, this date is over.
All right. So to let's piggyback. So if Blade did open up emotionally, right, would that ruin him?
I think based on what the story really was trying to do, I don't think it was trying to really focus so much on character development. I think it was more so just focused on the action. The action was the forefront of it, and the story was somewhat decent. It wasn't the greatest plot. I'd definitely say for sure it's better than Blade Trinity. But I think it would have taken away from it, to be honest, though, because just how he just jumps in and you don't know anything about him, and it's like, now we want to get to know him, and it kind of seems backwards to me, I think.
Right.
I think maybe later on, though, but yeah.
Piggybacking off of that, absolutely. In the first movie or maybe the second, just let it be about action, let it be about entertainment. Then we can really delve into it and
his backstory.
Exactly. I mean, just take, for example, they kind of did the same thing with Wolverine in the X-Men movies.
They
the
did.
The first few movies is, we're not going to talk too much about his past. We're just going to let him be cool and be badass.
And you know, it's really great you brought that point up. You know why? Because that made us buy more into him as a character and invested. And look at the role that they went on up until Logan.
It's good to have a sort of crescendo for your character sometimes. Not everybody needs to start with super heavy dialogue with Iron Man and everything, which we do have, but it's fine. But it's okay to just have cool punch action, and then we get to the narrative later on. It works for
Because
some
I
characters.
think it would have ruined it. It would have ruined it because this again, the mysteriousness, the mystique. He's out here killing, right? That's dope. Like, how many movies start like that? I would love, like, I'd rather have that than you go and break it all the way down. Put it in there somehow, some way. Or, if you don't, that's cool because we get it. At the end of the day, he's a vampire slayer.
What more is there to talk about?
That's it.
I think if they had a little bit more time as far as budget goes, maybe they could have fit in a 5-minute, 8-minute. I mean, this movie's running 2 hours.
Something maybe with his mother or whatnot, but at the same time.
But it didn't really go in depth with that.
And it's not the forefront of the movie, ultimately.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's really just, do you want to see Wesley Snipes kill vampires? Here you go.
He's one of the greatest action stars of our time.
Let's run the next one.
Alright, for copyright purposes, I'm gonna have to narrate this shit. Alright, he's in the hospital, he saw a guy, boom, hit that vampire, boom. He said, I just came to finish you off. Get out here, you freak! Then he started scrapping. Man took out his blade, chopped off his hand. After he chopped off his hand, then the cops came, bang, 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 bang. Then he goes, you lost your damn mind.
So do you think, is Blade the blueprint for don't show emotion masculinity?
I'll say I don't think he's the blueprint, but I do think that he's a product of don't show emotion, being masculine. Because I mentioned to you this a little bit earlier. What Blade really is just a Western, but instead of shooting and killing varmints, you're killing vampires. There's a whole stoicism of the Western cowboy taking out outlaws, taking out bad guys. So he's not the blueprint of masculinity being the identity of not showing emotions, but he is a byproduct of it. The stoic, strong, masculine type.
That trope.
Yeah, that trope. What about you?
You took all the words right out of my mouth. You beat me to the punch, and I definitely do agree. It fits well.
Yeah, it's fine.
So is Blade then fighting evil, or he's just projecting internal conflict?
I think it's a little bit of both, and it's also to kind of, like I said, I'm a big, heavy Batman fan. I could see the similar parallels between Blade 2 and as well as Robert Pattinson's The Batman, right? When he fought the Riddler and stuff, he's like, what am I? He's like, I'm vengeance. So he's so driven by this personal thing to kind of like erase these kind of like erroneous people because of this trauma that they imprinted on him. So I think yes, he's doing it to eradicate evil, but I think it's mostly just the trauma that was imprinted on him. I feel like he doesn't want to see imprinted on the world. So I think it's a little bit of both personal and he does want to eradicate evil. Yes, that vendetta.
Quick answer on my part. I'm agreeing with him. I think it's a part of both. Do I think Blade has a little bit of self-hate? Maybe somewhere in there, but at the same time, there's vampires going around kidnapping people and biting them in hospitals. If you gonna call him, you gonna think he's evil or whatever? No, kill the vampires. They just bit my grandma in the hospital. What are we doing here? No, murk them.
Yeah, I believe it's an inner conflict more, just because he's always having this flashback of his mother, and I'm thinking that played such a role. He's
It did play a huge part.
I'm killing these people who took my very mother from me. And I hate that I'm part of this culture. So, I don't know. That's how I'm feeling.
He hates that he's a part of it too, but he also has the benefits of it, but it's also to a curse at the same time that he got to continually pump up with serum.
Because he doesn't
so that
want
he
to
doesn't
eat
go
blood.
full out vampire mode and start becoming the monster he hates and kills.
I don't think he hates it too much, because even with his mom, when he finds out that she's turned a vampire, and then when he finally got his strength back, after getting somewhat crucified or whatever, he had no qualms about killing her mad quickly. He ain't like, I'm sorry I had to do this, Mom. He's like, ah!
But she gave a speech. That's what made him, change.
I personally think that the same way the vampires get a kick out of hunting down the humans, the same way Blade gets a kick out of hunting down vampires. I think he kind of gets like a little bit of a power boner over being able to murk them.
Heck yeah.
Personally.
Hell yeah.
All right, so you know, Deacon Frost played a huge part in this movie. Do you think he's evil or just anti-elite?
Anti-elite?
Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Because
No. I get anti-elite. I get it. I think he more leans so towards the anti-elite side, especially against like the establishment.
Yeah,
and I think that was
blood.
definitely his main motive when he was like, they're like, yo, you're not a pure blood and stuff like that. So he was like, well, it doesn't even matter. But yo, like, I feel like we have this power. These people are our food, but he didn't really get to understand the politics of like why they kind of blend in, because you still need them to at the same time. Yes, they may be cattle, but you still got to work with them.
I mean, to your point, I think that he's anti-elite, but like with many things in the world, you become the villain that you hate or that you despise or that you try to kill. You basically replace them. And the vampires, they understood like, okay, yeah, we may have all the power, but you kill all the cattle, who's going to help society run? Like, who's going to make the clothes? Who's going to build the infrastructure? We just going to be living in caves? We just going to go back to 1770 whatever, like Dracula's castle? Like, no, society still works a certain way. You don't want to just uproot that. What about you?
I think it's anti-elite. Yeah, I really do, because he wanted a seat at the table. They said, "Oh no, you're a half-breed." Basically, know your position. Stop talking about transcribing these ancient things.
texts.
Let's get out of here with that. Those are fables, basically. They said, and he was like, "I'm gonna show you," because he been wanted to see. If you can't, then you create your own. All right. So the purebloods were born into power, right? Frost had to fight to get into it. So is inheriting power more dangerous than earned power?
I think it depends on how you earned your power. If you earned your power through people's ignorance, I think that speaks more about society and how they don't check power properly. Because if you're just giving people power over you without, doing your proper checks, that person could just do whatever they want. Inheriting power, even if you inherit power, I think you still have to prove yourself, because even if somebody gives you the crown, now the eyeball is really on you, because now we have something to compare you against. But if we just giving people power, I think is a little bit dangerous when you don't. What was I gonna say? When you don't check them properly.
So you're talking about earning versus inheriting?
Because the pure blood inherited. Every once in a while, there's a vote, they inherit.
But there's structure with that.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. When you just sort of take power, or when power is just given. So, for example, here's a problem that I have with the movie. Not a nitpick, but I had a problem with all the vampires just following Deacon Frost, no qualms, no nothing. I'm like, so everybody was trying to turn against the cabal of old school vampires. But also look at what happened. Because of how Deacon Frost didn't know how to wield power, everything just fell apart very quickly.
And that just goes to show you that, right? You have to show that you are of merit, or you're cut from the cloth, pretty much per se. You put in your work, you put in your dues to have earned that power within the right succession of steps. And obviously, if people don't know or even experience that or know the responsibilities that come with that, it's just chaotic. Obviously, as you see at the very end.
He took the power and he didn't have the ability to wield it.
Yeah, but just to answer you didn't ask a question, but
Pushback.
Just to give you a little pushback, the people that were following were all half-breeds. They were all. That's why it was easier, because you're now preaching a message, hey, we can get this power and be treated like one of them.
Yeah. Like a zealot to me.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
So this Karen character has been introduced, the one in the video where she was saved by Blade, right? So does Blade actually need Karen, or is it an emotional training wheel?
Emotional training wheel, as in to help him work on his skills emotionally? Is that what you're saying? That he's just kind of having her come along? Or?
I think it's in the sense of, well, like we talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
Blade grew up on the streets until the age of 13.
Yeah.
Whistler took him in, taught him kung fu and everything and how to murk vampires. He doesn't really have any social skills and any social cues.
That's obvious.
So Karen coming in reminding him of his mother sort of makes him feel, it kind of connects him to his humanity and makes him easier to deal with. I think that Karen is a bit of a, how do I say, she is an emotional vessel for him to express his humanity, I feel.
And express it in a very rude way because
absolutely.
he treated her like crap this whole film. I didn't realize the first time I saw, I was like, yo, he be kind of downplaying her a lot.
He really doesn't
He's
care
like,
for
yo,
her.
what are you doing? Da, da, da. He's like always cursing her out like every single 5 seconds of the movie. I noticed that he treated her rough.
Tell me Blade don't remind you of like a overbearing, aggressive dad.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed in you all the time. Like, what are you doing?
But
Abusive.
he got her from his makeshift father. That's where he got her.
Whistler, yeah. Whistler's a hard ass.
Yeah, so that's where he got it from. But you could see that I believe she was an emotional training wheel, but she did show her worth and value as the movie went.
I mean, listen.
She caught on quickly. Give her credit.
I will say this though. Me and Leigh was watching. She's like, damn, she has no combat skills whatsoever, but she was able to hang in there. But I was like, you know what's for sure? She was the reason Blade beat Frost. She came up with that serum.
She did.
He would never have beaten Frost.
Yep, he wouldn't have. So, all right, if this movie dropped today, would some people side with Frost?
For what?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, please, teach me. I'm curious.
It makes sense. It's like the people who have always been on top versus the people who have never,
I see.
Going against this
versus the
statue.
people who have never had the haves versus the have-nots.
The bourgeoisie versus
So you can,
proletariat. Okay.
you know what's so fun? Wow, I didn't even see that. You just let me see from a whole different lens right
didn't
now.
think
I didn't
about
even
that.
see it like that. That's a different layer.
And how about this? If monsters are real, but society functions, do you expose it?
It depends. But you see, it's like, and this is why I learned my favorite word by Mr. Wise Guy, nuance, right? There's actually a perfect example, right? There's a show I watched before. You ever heard of The Sandman?
I know of it, but I haven't
It's
watched
based
I've
off a
seen
comic book, right? And I guess he's the one that
Netflix.
controls time or whatever. And there was an episode in particular that said, if we start living in a world where we tell the truth 100%, would that world still be stable?
No.
And it proven and showed the world went to utter shit chaos. And that's why I relate to that. Can you release information? Yes, but you have to know what's the repercussions that come with revealing that kind of information.
And to go off of that, it depends on, are we talking about a societal threat or are we talking about an existential threat?
Okay, good.
So what you were talking about is
You added
Sandman,
more.
that's an existential threat.
Yeah.
So for example, in society, if we know that there's a bunch of weird people kidnapping pets, you want to know if there's a cabal kidnapping your animals, don't you?
Yeah,
Of course you want to know that. That's a societal threat. But when we start talking about existential threats, as in now we're talking about the existence of vampires, Blade himself said, holy water doesn't work, crosses don't work. Now I got to start questioning in the validity of Christianity. Now once you start questioning people's faith, everything starts falling apart. So to your point, it depends.
And I think there's nothing wrong with it, but you got to understand when people have been built to think that this is what it is, and then you just get utterly mind-effed and you find out that it's not, and it's the whole complete opposite, that can destabilize someone's very sanity. That's a very dangerous thing, and that's why that episode, it relates great to that question you just asked. I just think it's you take it with a grain of salt. It's like, how do you handle it and how do you take care of it? Because you can't just release any and everything. That's why there are such things as secrets. And so
basically,
not everything could be divulged out.
So basically, Peep This W.O.M, if the vampires are out there, we're not going to tell you. We are part of the cabal.
Yes.
Don't come for us.
All right, so one of my last questions, right, is this as a superhero movie, why doesn't it get the recognition it deserves, being that this is what literally saved MCU?
I mean,
I would speak personally. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being ignorant or whatever. Maybe because it's a black man and they don't want to give accolades and respect due to that a black man had become the pioneer to save one of the greatest industries that we know now in our current time, which is the MCU, which led up all the way up into Avengers. that's given primordial thanks to Wesley Snipes for that. Like,
Yeah.
they were literally weren't they bankrupt or something?
Yeah.
Marvel,
They
were facing bankruptcy.
They were facing bankruptcy.
bankruptcy.
That was about to be it, and this movie saved them by the chin of the hair on their very chin. And I just think it has to do with that. It could be very political. Maybe it's very political. They didn't want to be like, oh, it's because of a black man. We don't want to give props to him. But that's my view and thoughts.
I'm gonna make this quick. Do your Googles. Back in the 90s, superhero movies were on a decline. Superman 4 Quest for Peace sucked. Superman 3 sucked. Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Here's what happened. Real quick.
Go ahead, please.
Here, because I know we got to wrap up. So Superman 3 in the 80s, flunked, even though it did really good monetarily. Superman 4 Quest for Peace, flunked. Horrible movie. Batman 89 came around, good. Batman Returns, good. Here's where we start getting the problem. Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. They had a movie deal and they tried to get toys from McDonald's. They tried to turn it from Tim Burton's dark broodiness to child-friendly and selling toys, but it flunked the quality of the movie and it put all the faith in superhero movies into the crapper. And that came out, 3 or 4 years before Blade? So unfortunately, Blade came out in that small pocket between Batman Returns and X-Men. Product of the time.
And also, too, it was definitely way ahead. Because there was no other rated R type superhero film. Was this like the first rated R superhero film?
This was the first of the 90s.
Unless we're talking about the 80s with like RoboCop.
That's why I said 90s,
and Judge Dredd, but not Marvel comic related.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
What
that.
about you?
And just to close off, I agree with you. I think it was that. And because also Blade is not an A-list superhero.
He's not.
So imagine a B-list / C-list superhero saving Marvel. Not Captain America.
Also
not,
B-list.
Not Iron Man.
Also B-list.
See? So
Yeah, he knows his
not,
stuff. Also
not,
B-list.
not those characters, but you had the bottom tier come and save Marvel. So I think that's also a thing. Being black and also...
And then on top of that, it's that list of category
Yeah.
of comic book. Yeah.
But it's still worth it in the 90s in my opinion.
It is. So this is what I would say. Keep joining us at Peep This W.O.M. Go see Blade. I promise you will enjoy it. Hi, my name is Maciah. And if you don't like Blade, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. It's a good movie.
You gonna end up in the Everglades. Now, okay.
If you don't like Blade, you're going to end up in the Everglades.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like and comment and share.
Killer, wait! I owe you, man. I got 2 new hands, Blade. I don't know which one to use to kill you with. Ah!